Also want to make sure that you check out Reggie Wright on his platform Bomb First every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. West Coast time. And you can also get him on Facebook and Instagram at reggie.wright.jr. And also James McDonald can be found on Facebook and on Instagram at BIGGJ3636. And he's also got those shirts. You can hit him up, 909-800-6404. And this is episode 26. And if you're new to the podcast, please go back and listen to previous episodes, because most of our episodes are interrelated, and you won't start hearing me until episode 3. And if you're on iTunes listening, please give us a rating and review. We really appreciate it. You can rate us from 1 to 5 stars. 5 stars meaning you love the show. And in addition, you could add questions, comments, and I'll make sure we review those questions and we may address them on the show. And for those who don't have iTunes, we're also available on Google Play for you Samsung and Android users. We're on Spotify and also on radio.com. And I also have an announcement to make before we start our show. I believe we got our live show planned. It is going to be October 23rd, 2019 at 7 p.m. That will be a live broadcast at from 7 to 9. And then after that, we'll have a meet and greet from 9 to 10:30. And it'll be at the French Quarter Creole Bar and Grill. That's the French Quarter Creole Bar and Grill. In Bellflower, California. The address is 16728 Bellflower Boulevard. So be sure to come out there, meet and greet us, listen to the show. And to get tickets, you got to visit the GangsterChroniclespodcast.com website. That's www.thegangsterchroniclespodcast.com website. So we hope that all you guys in the Los Angeles area will come out and check us out at Bellflower at the French Quarter Creole Bar and Grill. All right, so let's get into our show. But before we start the show, I got a couple of fact checks from last week. Last week was our very popular Tekashi episode, guys. But I did make a mistake. Last week I said that Sammy the Bull Gravano admitted to 17 murders, but guess what? He admitted to 19 homicides when they gave him a beautiful 5-year deal.
How many people did he incriminate in the process?
Oh, he incriminated about 100 members of all 5 families of the New York Mafia. Most of them were from the Gambino crime family. And for those who just heard that voice, I was going to introduce him, but that's Spider. That's Spider Loke.
Welcome back.
Appreciate it, GC.
He beat me to his introduction.
My bad.
No, that's cool.
Now you just said such an interesting statement. I just had to it spark my
I always
interest.
say that Sammy the Bull Gravano admitted to more homicides than Jeffrey Dahmer, and he basically walked.
Wow.
5 years. But then he got out and got caught up in an ecstasy ring. He did 17 on that, and he's actually free. He got out in 2017. And then also last week I brought up Tim Allen as being a snitch. He actually gave up several names in his cocaine trafficking case in 1978 in Kalamazoo. I believe Kalamazoo's in Michigan.
And he was dealing?
Yeah, he was a cocaine dealer.
And
in
it
the
came
70s.
home and made millions on the screen.
Home Improvement.
Wow.
So
shout out Tim Allen for being
shout out to Tim Allen.
Wow.
Going from informant to television star.
Wow.
All right, so Reggie, you want to talk about what you brought in this week?
Yeah. I want to play something for James. I purposely tried not to talk to James all the last few days because I wanted him to see if he heard this and play this for him and get a spontaneous response from him.
God
So
damn it, what is it?
I'm going to play this for you right now.
Which one you want to play? The sugar or the...
No. The gas.
All right.
Oh, you paused it.
Yeah.
Okay, he paused it, guys. So.
Yeah, my fault.
I know, I was
crazy.
yeah.
I was like, oh, Lord.
No,
Murphy's
you
Law in
can't,
full effect.
Yeah, you can't play and hear at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we didn't know you paused it. But go ahead.
Oh, so they can hear it.
Yeah.
No, they're going to hear it.
Yeah.
But we won't.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Oh.
Our mics will be off,
We
right?
just can't hear
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah. Mike's
You
off.
can go ahead and talk like you like to do while we
Okay.
All right,
All the real niggas and the homegirls out there, fake ass police officers, Reggie Wright, my J, all you punks.
My J.
See y'all. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Rumors. Rhyme with the dogs. Let the niggas bite the shit out of you.
That's on
You
Instagram.
hear me? Well, I'm out, y'all. I ain't gonna give y'all niggas no time. No nothing! You're not gonna know where I'm at.
He in the San Fernando Valley.
All right, so
I'm gonna tell him that too.
That's where he is.
All right. Let me do a little
Y'all ready?
introduction. Yeah. Go. So James, did you just hear what that little man just said to you?
Oh man, I heard it, but to me that's nothing. You just, man, you call me a punk, nigga. You ain't never fuck with me like that. I can call you a punk though. You ran from Trayvon. You ran straight into the police arms with drugs in your pocket. You was really scared. But anyway, my whole thing is this, dude. Don't mention my name and nothing. You ain't heard James say shit. And it ain't Mob James, it's James, clown. And you ain't heard me speak on you and nobody else. If I say something, I repeat it. But you want to stick your dogs on me, man, bring your dogs. They gonna pull back something. They ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna like it either. You want to find me, my nigga, I'm in Beaumont Shore every motherfucking day, especially on Saturdays. I stay from the morning to night when it closed. Come on up there, Daz.
He's just doing that for social media.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
I wouldn't take it serious.
No, my whole
James.
thing is
Yeah, you
I
want that down, that
I don't
shit.
talk to that dude. When that dude was at death row, I never. Any one of those cats from the other side can say, James ain't never socialized, hung with, because I don't smoke weed. I never found a reason to go over there and hang with those cats. The only time I interacted is when I did Snoop Dogg and Suge had me out there to protect Snoop Dogg. But Daz, you don't know me like that, dude. And why I can't find you? If you that nigga, say where you at. I know you in
San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando Valley. Everybody know you. So, but you ain't even worth looking for, dude. I ain't even tripping. You know where I'm at. So if you want to come find me and fuck with me, nigga, I got a fishing pole in the tackle box, nigga, at the beach, nigga, chilling.
Now, for those who are just new to the Gangster Chronicles podcast, Daz Dillinger is responding to the police report or whatever we're calling that, Reggie, that you had on Bomb First and that we talked about on last week's episode 25, about Snoop and Daz, I guess, running into the police during that incident back in 1998.
And it's so crazy that, if this was some shit Reggie just brung up and brung the Gangster Chronicles, I would have said, come on, is we getting down like that? Reggie been saying this for a long, long time. And there's videos out there that Reggie has told these cats what the fuck, where they at. You know what I'm saying? So I would appreciate it if you say, Reggie. I'm riding with Reggie 100 though. Don't get that twisted. But if you hear me say something, then I'm accountable for anything I say, and I'm ready to rock and roll with anything I say. And that's anybody. That's anybody. So, little dude, your get down ain't even like that. So, knock it off.
All
Put
right.
your dogs in
I'll
their
play
kennel.
another audio too, and then we'll go in and we'll get into something else because we're not going to linger on these on the subject too long. Go ahead, play this one for me, so y'all can hear a response from Suge Knight regarding this as well.
Oh, I didn't know there was another audio.
I can't believe that boy.
Well, it's Star that really went in on him
Well,
from the Star report.
he uses my name.
Yeah.
I understand you mad at Reggie, but also know when Reggie do his homework on your ass, he put you out there.
I'm surprised.
Niggas, they don't listen to Bomb First, huh?
Suge Knight regarding this as well.
Snoop. Oh, Snoop would never come. I mean, Snoop was on, we beat a murder trial for him, but then he was on probation. Then he got caught with 2 ounces of marijuana. Then he got caught with guns. And each time it's nothing. They're not going to violate him. Because for the street guys know what I'm talking about. There's no puzzle. I mean, if you get a guy that constantly getting in trouble and never going to come to prison, that's because he's an informant. He's a rat, a snitch, And they're more important to the police on the streets than in here because they let them know what's going on. They might save their soul by telling on 3 or 4 or 5 other guys. I'm from Compton, and a rat is the lowest you can go. A rat will do anything.
So you don't think Snoop was a rat?
I mean,
Simon was on the yard right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that interview.
Yeah, I had wanted to stop a little earlier.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Y'all ready to go?
Right when he said that. After
Reg,
the
you
rap.
ready? To
No, no. When you say ready to go?
Yeah.
Because it's too late.
Oh, no, you want me to play?
Yeah.
No.
He,
I want to edit.
he wants you to just clip a little bit.
Oh, bet. Okay, hold on.
When the white boys start talking, I want that
Alright.
clip. I don't want no.
Hold on.
You know, I'm from Compton. I'm Wright is the
Snoop was the rat.
So, right
Yeah.
before he said Snoop is a rat?
Yeah.
So you know that Snoop was the rat.
I guess after he says I'm from Compton.
Yeah. The rap
you know,
is
I'm
low.
from Compton.
No.
You know, I'm from Compton. I'm Wright is the lowest you can go. Wright will do anything.
So you know that
Alright,
Snoop.
so right there.
Wright is the lowest you can go. Wright will do anything.
Yeah.
Start it off on this, Reg, with what we just listened to when he.
Okay.
Lowest you can go. Wright will do anything.
Man, I need some
Yeah.
coffee. Don't. Oh, just kidding. Go ahead, Reg.
Okay. So that's.
Wait. And then we
Coffee lit, too.
Marriott.
What kind of camera is that?
Okay, so cool. So
T5i.
that's
Fucking over us.
Okay, Reg, what was that? What was that audio?
let's start
All
over.
right, let's.
I mean, no, if you want to do a just 3, 2, 1, I can.
No, we just Spider was talking. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I did some fucked. I fucked up. I just got a call. My youngest son is talking too much in school, out of turn. I can't get mad at him. I told him I love him. Shit, I talks out of turn too. My
We
bad.
know you, Spider. We done did
Thank you.
interviews with
Shout
you
out
before.
Velioli.
We know
Love you, my nigga, but you can't get yourself in too much trouble.
We know you, Spider.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I just watched one of your videos when you say your kids is more than your equipment. You know what I'm saying? And that's 100 because, hey, this is my life. They're not
Thank
going to be gangbangers. I got 2 sons.
All right, cool. So that's some audio.
looking,
Most of y'all
bro.
probably might have heard it before, but that was just Ship Knight's response to hearing about the paperwork that Snoop put on him back in 1998. And so I just want to refresh in some of y'all memories and educate some of you young motherfuckers that don't know anything, that this paperwork's been out there. And as far as Daz, with the police comment, yeah. You know, back in the 90s, I was a cop. And, but you know, as much as anybody, when it came to doing some other shit, going to locations and stuff like that, when I had you niggas bitch up and PC up in Hawaii and all of that, you know, I was always the first through the door.
But the cool thing about it is, when you was running Death Row, you and Dash was kicking it.
It was cool.
You wouldn't miss the police officer then.
Yeah, exactly.
Nigga, you ought to feel bad about fucking with a cop, whether it was business or not. If you was that nigga, you wouldn't have been doing that.
Coming over my
Then.
house in the marina every morning.
Your
waking
damn
me up.
sure wouldn't have been going to his house.
Yeah.
So, man, say that shit. You know, niggas make themselves look bad. That's why I say it's important. What you do today, that shit gonna follow you tomorrow and every day after that. So if you don't fuck with the police, then don't fuck with them from the beginning. You ain't got to worry about this type of shit happening to you.
All right, so we're gonna continue this conversation about Tekashi that we had last
Yeah,
week.
let's
But
go.
before we start the conversation about Tekashi, there's a couple of things in the news that I wanted to touch on real quick, and this is pretty huge. On September 15th, the Florences and a bunch of East Coast Crips had a sit-down, face-to-face meeting
At
at the old
Bethune.
Juvenile Justice Building on 76th and Central. After about a month and a half of conversations that started in early August, to end their war, to end one of their one of the most bloodiest wars.
I heard-
Let me finish.
I heard
One of
the meeting was at
bloodiest
Bethune.
wars.
You sure it wasn't at Bethune?
No, it wasn't. No, it was at the 76th and Central. And we got Spider Loke in the house today as a guest. And
I would.
I know you mentioned it on one of your videos.
Yes, I am a former member, quite a fluent, active member of the East Coast Crips myself, so I was kind of interested when I heard the fact that they met with such a egregious enemy. and
So
made an
that's for
attempt.
real.
Yeah, it's for real. It's real. It's a real deal.
Didn't
I even
Spider-
heard-
then
I've
on
heard-
the last when we had you in here, you didn't think it would happen, huh?
I mean, that was
mentioned it. I
that was
brought
so.
it
You just like suggested it could possibly happen, or you?
I've been behind the scenes trying to work on things like this for.
Oh, salute,
Yeah.
because you know I don't want to say, you know, peace is positive. Period. You know, we are trying to prepare our environment for the next generation. So there's the legacy that we have left and have participated in. It's not what I'm trying to see continue into the future. So anytime any two powerful groups can sit down and talk about peace, I think it's a positive thing, especially when everybody knows what it started over, and the people that are involved in the war now, they did not benefit from the initial act. They have some of them, the youngest dudes, have no even idea where it all came from. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, there's some youngsters that weren't even born in
Thank
1999.
you.
That are front lining right now.
Front lining. And they are the majority of those that do not want to cooperate. You know, of course, you have that energy that's not going to go with it.
That's absolutely true, Spider, because I was at a meeting. There was at least, man, I got to say, he must have been about 19, 20 years old. Just mad dogging the whole time. Just like, man, like not happy that this is going on. But of course, all the older guys, 40 and over, they're facilitating.
Got at him, yeah.
They try to talk to him, but I can see
it's kind of
this energy that this youngster has.
I can say that I can definitely relate to both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, he ain't wrong.
Thank you. As much as what he represents is wrong, him as an individual is not wrong. That energy has to be dealt with, redirected, eliminated at all costs eventually. But when the people that raised you to be the demon you are, out of nowhere throwing you for a curveball, you have to understand his confusion. When he's probably attended multiple funerals based on this scenario, I just know it's a real complex situation.
But we can't make. I mean, all of that is true. That's why you have, and the truces don't last, and with the Bloods and the Crips and the Crips against Crips, Bloods against Bloods, because bloodshed. You got people killed here, and you got some cats can't take the back or sit next to a guy that killed somebody you love. So, but in order for it to work, these guys got to understand the big picture of this and trying to truce is to stop the killing. Let's stop killing each other. Let's focus. You know what I'm saying? Because right now in the day, I don't understand why. I know everybody's seeing what Donald Trump is doing. I would stop my shenanigans just because of that. You know what I'm saying? And we need to pay attention. They don't give a fuck about us. So if they don't give a fuck about us and we don't give a fuck about ourselves, sooner or later it's self-destruction, you feel me?
Yeah.
And extermination. And we don't understand that. So the OGs that's still active in the hood, I see a lot of guys on your videos that still got clout in their hood. You need to really get to the little homies that feel like that little brother do, because that little brother, he ain't wrong. He ain't misguided. He just taught to be a certain kind of way, and he representing what he believe in.
But here's the difference, though. On the Mexican side, you got them same youngsters there that feel the same way. But,
Exactly.
But as soon as the OG says it's over, them little youngsters
That's
on the
because
Mexican side
they
are
got
with it.
discipline.
But you got to understand, just take the mind frame of you being a young dude, 25 and under, and your road dog. All y'all have been, your whole existence in this was that killer. He dies in the midst of that. How do you disrespect the bond you have with him by going against? Now, I understand the mature answer, but how do you translate to the young individual who every day with my road dog, we pledge to this? He's not here to agree with me to do the positive thing.
You translate to him like this. We got a bigger picture now.
No. How does he accept that himself? Like nobody's around. It's just him, and he's thinking about his dog.
Well, he got to think about it. It's a bigger picture. We talking about life. And if you 25 years old, you got a brainstem. You know, okay, I gotta relate to this because I ain't getting no younger and I ain't going nowhere. We got to get out of this circle. So he got to understand, okay, I'm going to always love the hood. That shit is right here in the heart. But the bigger picture is stop.
Right, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Not just maybe the homie is saying, man, you see what happened to me.
From the other side, exactly.
You see what happened to me. I don't want this to happen to you.
Exactly.
Get out of that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And if the big homies really cherish the little homies and want to see this shit over with, stop. You get at them like that, man. We looking at a bigger picture. Now they got to see from the beginning to the end, because this was never your fault. You was born into this shit. The war was already going on. Anything before 99, the war was already happening. And if you come after that, you doing it just because the hood is doing it.
Right.
We got to accept our losses. I lost a lot of motherfuckers through the gangbanging shit. But right now today, we got to understand, we can't bring them back. I don't want it to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to my brother and nephews. So let's cherish what's still alive.
future, right.
Let's fix it.
That's a good answer. That's the only answer.
Well, a lot of people are skeptical, even though they had to sit down last week. There's some brothers that are a little skeptical. They're like, because the Florences reached out to the East Coasters. They're the ones that said, hey, we want a truce. So the question is, like, why now? Why all of a sudden? And also, I want to throw this in that some of the Mexicans that were involved in this truce were also, these guys are in prison, were also involved in the truce between the Norteños and the Sureños. And we all know, if you've been to a California prison, you know that divide between Norteños and Sureños. And apparently,
I knew that was coming.
Let me tell you how smart they is.
I knew that was coming.
This is how smart they is.
this is a 40-year, this goes back to the 60s.
I know,
Right.
but look,
I knew that was coming.
the Mexicans is looking at Donald Trump. The Mexicans is mad the way he treating their people. So fuck the fighting. We ain't gonna
Right.
do this. We ain't gonna look like ignorant motherfuckers.
That's a great point, actually.
I'm telling you.
Makes a lot of
I never
sense.
thought
That's
about
one thing about the
politics.
Mexicans, man, is they pay attention to politics. They pay attention to their family. And they saying, this motherfucker is driving us through the mud. Mexicans. So the Mexicans ain't doing how we doing it. They say, fuck that, let's just call truce. Ain't no more this, ain't no more that. And they doing it the right way because Donald Trump can't speak on you no more. They can't call us animals. We demand a truce. So they reach out to the brothers.
And it's like,
We in the same bag.
it's only on them. It has to come that direction because not to use the V word victim in a negative sense, but when the incident comes and you were the victim in the situation, it's on you to finally say, I'm not mad no more.
Yeah.
Wait, who you calling the victim?
The war began because something was taken from.
Wasn't it taken from it was the Mexican stuff that was taken?
So so therefore if something was taken from you, you have been victimized.
Oh, yeah.
So it's on you to say, I'm no longer gonna be revenging this situation.
Got it,
You know what I'm saying? Once I take something, it's like, however you feel is how you feel. I'm not gonna come to you and say, forgive me for taking now, let's piece it out.
Yeah.
So it's on them. It's only gonna come from that direction.
That's a great point.
And they've been banging it out for a long
It
time.
went, it
East
went all the
Coast
way.
I mean, you know how many people have been
It
lost.
went all the way.
13,
It went all the way,
they've
bro.
been banging it out for a long, long time.
I think it started in 99, so we're talking
Right
about 20
then.
years.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
20 years of straight.
I used to go up to Manchester
and people,
So you know.
they
You
lost,
can't go in that motherfucker. no more.
Nah,
people have been killed on both sides every single year of this war.
Exactly.
Ain't no
Yeah.
like long periods of
Exactly.
peace.
Yeah, I think based on that incident, I think the Florences is the most black style banging gang it is.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. They probably got more hitters than any other Mexican gang in LA, period.
With that Easty flavor.
In fact, if you compare the Mexican gangs in East LA and the Valley to the ones in South LA, guess which Mexican gangs are more violent?
the Valley.
The ones in the South LA, because they're hanging out with all the brothers, and the
Right.
brothers are way more active than any
Right.
of those East LA, Boyle Heights, or San Fernando Valley gangs.
Right.
So you got 38th Street, pretty active. They bang like brothers.
Mhm.
Florence.
That's the forgotten. Them down in the 30s and the bottoms is woo. It's wicked. Period.
It's just
The Parus down there, they be
it's
on
how
one too.
far you gonna take it individually on how your banging gonna be, because you got a lot of cats out there that's talking like they really with it and ain't with that situation at
Right.
all. You know what I'm saying? Prime example, Daz Dillinger. It's crazy, man. How, and I'm glad the truce is there.
Right.
Because that put,
That's his name, James.
what is it?
Delmar Arnaud.
Well, that's the name they had
That's
on
his
the
name
paper.
that's in the paperwork that Reggie got on bottom first.
Well,
What was your point, though, about?
but it's just, man, it's time that it happened, and I'm glad it happened.
I'm so glad.
And then I'm even hearing
Salute.
the Kitchens over there, and
Yeah.
I got history with those
The
cats.
Kitchen and the Swans are at the table.
That's
cool.
right. Salute to all that.
And I want to shout out Little Doc Thone from 6'9 East Coast. Little Doc
697.
Thone is the
Neighborhood,
one
Doc.
pretty much that really is instrumental in the communications with the Mexicans from Florence.
I got a question for Spider.
Yes, sir.
What happens with all the law enforcement in LA if the Bloods and the Crips get together and the Mexicans and the blacks ain't fighting? What happens to their job? They be writing tickets.
Yep.
But that's the Spider.
That's it. I just because I
You don't
remember,
know.
I remember
Probably
from
right
the
there.
I remember from the '92 riots.
Quicker than child abuse calls and
I remember when
domestic violence.
I remember when we tried to forge peace in '92. There were reports of police officers doing drive-bys, hitting people square between the eyes at high speeds of rage. So we have to realize we are up against an enemy that had utilized the law enforcement to push their agenda highly. So if we somehow stop giving them that direct action with these street wars, we're going to have to sophisticate ourselves because they're going to still be coming at us one way or the other. We making it a lot easier for them by out here with this trivial red, blue gangbang. We have to get beyond that, y'all.
But you gotta stop.
We gotta stop.
And if you do that, the police lose their jobs because they don't
Yes.
have. They don't.
They ain't going
They're not
But
gonna lose
they-
jobs that they already have.
Well, they got, but they won't. Who they gonna enforce?
But one thing could happen, they don't have to expand their gang enforcement detail. They don't have to
gonna
grow
just
it.
reassign them
Right.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, reassign them somewhere else. Get them
Well,
out the
that's good. I
neighborhood.
hope that.
Get
Yeah,
niggas. Make them stop
'Cause we
killing
deal,
us.
yeah, because we deal different rules from the police in our areas than everywhere else.
We have to police our fucking selves, man. Let's police ourselves.
All right, the next war that we got to fix
go.
is the one on the west side between a Mexican gang called 18th Street and the Black P Stones and the Rolling 20s.
Lord
But
have
here,
mercy.
you're gonna hear it here first. Within a year, that war is gonna be over.
Within a year.
TS, what it do?
Within a year, that war is gonna
Baby
be
karate
over.
body, my
All right,
niggas.
so last week we had this incredible conversation about Tekashi, and since then, I mean, there's been so many
Tekashi.
developments in this guy's trial.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
where to start, but how about this? His personal driver was actually working for the feds the entire time, so they wired that whole car for video and audio.
Just like my dog said, he was a plant.
Had to be.
Tekashi was put
But
there.
Tekashi
for a
hired
purpose.
this guy.
But he already knew that. Bullshit.
You think Tekashi already knew?
Man, I just watched videos of Tekashi with what's the guy name in jail now?
Shotty.
Shotty in a robbery, in a shooting.
Yeah,
He videoing all of
bro.
this shit. Man, that dude wouldn't just
Yeah,
didn't-
come on.
no phone call.
And
I
the
don't
way,
know.
the way,
I want to hear what Reggie got to
During
say
the
about
kidnap-
driver.
Yeah, let me hear what Reggie got to say.
let me just say this.
driver, the
During the
driver.
kidnap, when they was asking that dude, come with us, the way he kept saying the nigga name, I'll give you anything. I think the nigga name was Marv. Harv. He's like, he sounded like he knew he was being recorded. Okay, Harv. Like, letting y'all know if this go bad, you know who in here doing this to me. It's Harv.
So Reggie, you
Oh, my
don't
bad,
think
but go ahead.
That he was planted in the hood.
Because if so, you would never known about it. They would have just had him taping and filming and doing all of that stuff, and you would have never heard about it until they were done with him as a snitch, and then they would have made institutionally for life. That's how you work informants.
Oh, so the question is, how did he start then?
Who, the driver?
Tekashi.
Oh.
How did he wind up hiring just somebody to drive him at
He was
random?
stupid
Well, that's
young.
your-
That
that's
taping,
your-
he was a clout chaser. This is what this age we in is social media. That's all he was. He wasn't planning by the government. Now, the government had contacted him before he got arrested and was working him. And for how long, we don't know. But he knew the arrest was coming. And he knew what was going down. But he was not always an informant. I don't agree with that. And he wasn't playing in by no CIA.
So how is he holding on? So he just videoing shit
Because he's
just
stupid.
in case.
Clout chasers.
So
This
now
big,
he's caught
stupid
up
young mother-
in court, and now he's saying, "Oh, I got video of that shooting."
Man,
that
that's so
incident.
far.
Ooh, I
It
got
could be
a-
real, but it sounds so far fetched, bro. He said that
If
he
that
did
was
it.
the
He
case,
did.
they wouldn't
He
have-
put
they
in some
wouldn't have
work.
never
He said he
exposed him.
videotaped it so the world would know he was responsible for that. Like, was you really that off?
These kids are stupid.
Wow, that's
These
crazy,
youngsters
bro.
are stupid like that.
So the driver could have just been some innocent dude that was
Oh, he
working
got
every
caught
day
up. No.
and got caught up.
He got caught up.
Yeah.
And they turned him.
Yeah, they
knew
turned
what he
him.
was. They turned him.
Yeah, I don't think the driver's part of a conspiracy.
No,
Oh, so the driver. Oh, I
I
thought
mean, he got
was
turned.
Yeah, he got turned.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I thought he was an FBI
No,
agent.
he was an ICE. He got arrested for some immigration shit or something.
Yeah, I
like
don't
that.
even think he spoke English.
Yeah, he got, and so they turned him. But then once they realized, oh, he works with these fools, or we working these. We've been working them for the last 2 years. We're gonna turn him.
Well, it's interesting.
That
'cause
might have been the only reason he got turned.
I've been looking it up and then looking at him, and then, him and one guy on the show was talking about Jim Jones. Cardi B. What does this do? What is his intent?
Yeah, Jim Jones was running his mouth and got caught on tape, and they went to him prior. That's why he didn't get arrested. Because he got turned. And that's why he never got brought in.
So do you think when he was having that phone call, he was aware?
No,
Oh, okay.
but they came and played it to him. I said,
Right.
this is what we got on you. We need X, Y, and Z.
So
And
opposed to
he
say, okay,
gave
give me
X, Y,
5
A,
years.
B, C, D. That's why he wasn't on that show for a while. I was wondering what happened. Why did he just all of a sudden stop being on Love and
disappeared,
Hip Hop?
huh?
Him and his wife was the biggest two on there. They were
Wow.
going through shit then.
So you don't think that Jim Jones is going to later get charged or arrested
No.
for something?
Nah, they would have wrapped him up in that case if that was the case.
Okay. I
Because
thought
they already had it.
Yeah.
If they've learned of it afterwards, then yeah,
they would have combined them in the indictment.
they arrest everybody.
Yeah.
They just decide on such and such day we picking up everybody. Except our informants.
Because technically, Jim Jones is making terrorist threats.
He threatened that man.
Yeah.
Just like if I was a snitch, guess who just did that? We just listened to some audio or something like that.
Your boy Daz.
I didn't say the name. Alex said it.
I'm just answering your
But-
question.
He's on probation right now.
For that weed.
Man, but anyway, let's move on.
Oh, in Atlanta, huh?
Yeah, remember he caught that weed case?
You know?
I think weed is more
But
serious in
that's-
Georgia.
Oh yeah,
than
you would be
here.
correct to think so.
But
Oh yeah,
let's
Yeah.
move on.
You went down south. Where?
Alabama.
Oh, you in Alabama?
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
not far from
Yeah.
Atlanta. Yeah.
All the South is really hard on marijuana.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no
Reggie
shit,
knows.
huh?
But hopefully that's gonna change because marijuana is not as a serious drug as
The marijuana thon continues.
yeah. All right. So also on this Tekashi thing, I think one of you guys just mentioned it. Yeah, James, you mentioned the Jim Jones recording that was played in court. What was the whole purpose of playing that audio recording of Jim Jones making threats in court? I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I haven't been following the case.
Why do that and he's not?
Yeah, he's not part of the case.
Part of the case. And
I guess
like
they
that.
just want to establish that there was a threat against.
Or who was he talking to?
6ix9ine.
Is he on the?
I'm not.
is
He's
he
talking
on
to
the case?
someone else about we need to
Well, maybe
violate.
he-
Somebody
Yeah,
named
maybe
He needs to be DP'd or whatever they were saying.
Whoever he was
Whoever he's
relaying
talking
that
to.
Yeah.
somebody named Mel something.
Yeah, I haven't been following that.
But isn't that the same person that was speaking to the other dude on the phone too?
Mm.
Tekashi was on the phone talking to him too?
Not sure.
I might be wrong.
But I'm thinking, wow, these guys are going to eventually get arrested too because they're talking some
No,
serious.
they got,
all about
no, they
when
got
they
a
knew about
conversation with Shotty and I think the male nigga too. Where Shotty was talking about, I'ma feed him. And he was telling him the nigga on there talking about fuck Treyway, and they was having a back and forth about what need to have. It's two phone conversations. I think the nigga Mel was talking to Jim Jones and he talking to Shotty. I could be wrong.
Well, some of these conversations, audios show that there's a split in 9 Trey. The ones that was down with Shotty, and then the ones that was down with Herb or
Harv or
Harv.
something, yeah.
And I guess Tekashi sided with who? He went with Shotty.
It seemed like he was playing both sides. Like Shotty had most control, but whenever that kidnapping allegedly was happening, he was telling the nigga, I want to be down with you, but they wouldn't give me your number and all that old shit.
Well, it was obvious when he did the second Breakfast Club interview that
Yeah.
then he knew something was going on.
He was charged up. Yep. He was charged up.
Because he did a 380 degree on him.
Yeah.
And so, or 360.
Well, shit, he
360
realized he
degree
was
on him.
playing with his life.
Well, he ain't supposed to know yet, though. He wasn't supposed to know yet. This was before he got indicted, allegedly, or arrested. That's why he knew something.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah.
That's why he did that switch.
Because niggas done kidnapped you and all that. If that was authentic.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the world you just go comfortable in front of the radio in that city talking about fuck them niggas and all that. You
But
ain't
still,
worried
the
about
question
nothing.
is asked: is he not justified in what he's doing? But with the guys that beat him up,
Right. Did they
tortured
deserve
him,
loyalty?
kidnapped, and all that shit, there was no loyalty
No.
at that point.
But the thing about it is, from our standpoint, if it got that funky, it was time to man up and go to war.
That's what he should have did.
That's what he should have did.
That's what I told you last week,
Yeah,
James.
but he didn't do that.
He didn't do that.
And even if you're not built that way, you don't pull down the whole hood.
Nah.
You might.
A whole
But
hood,
But
he
then you
put
gotta
some people
put
that
the
outside.
responsibility
He
based
pulled
on the
down
people who allowed this dude who was putting his head on female bodies in his most latest videos, and he was exploiting this rainbow culture. You gotta blame the dudes who was standing next to this dude, accepting him and telling him them secrets and allowing him the power to even betray them. Cause he should have never been qualified, bro. This dude was comfortable in that Gotti video of putting his face with them facial tattoos on a female's body with a bikini, my nigga. Come on, how do you relate to that kind of dude?
And they shouldn't have let that happen.
Not at all. If you were somehow gonna try to manipulate this dude and use him to his advantage, he should have never been put in a position where he could turn around and knock your whole empire down. Y'all slipped.
The 9 Treys were sloppy.
Sloppy.
The whole
It's not this. This is all over the place. That
Yes.
that Hoods is letting rappers and
I've
what's
been
the word
guilty.
for it?
I've been guilty.
Superstars in their hood. You know what I'm saying?
You got basketball
Because
players doing
Yep.
it.
you got people.
Baron Davis running
Yeah.
down.
You got people getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Motherfuckers looking out for you
Harden.
for bringing you around.
Right.
Yeah, you got all
Right.
these important people.
Right.
So you got to think about who you bring to the neighborhood.
And what you expose them to, they would be satisfied with a lot less. Just to be affiliated, they are satisfied. For y'all to try to really give them so much, rest in peace to the late great. But because he was overexposed and over-involved, we no longer have Mr. Shakur. And that's what happens. You over-implicate somebody. You over-involve them, and they have no idea. And just because they're not scared, they'll jump out there and not realizing this wave is a lot more stronger than you thought it was.
Exactly.
And that's what I meant last week when I put Tupac Shakur. I said there are parallels. Somebody hit me up saying,
Oh, they all
why
on
would you
you.
compare
Yeah.
Tupac and Tekashi? I just said there's some parallels between
Well, you
Pac,
can find them.
Tekashi, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, and all these dudes
Well-
that don't really understand what they're jumping into.
And we got. I had to go on bomb first to fix this.
Pac understood.
Tupac
Wait a
is-
minute, hold on, I
is-
gotta clear that
I know,
up.
I'm not-
He-
I'm
I'm
good
not
too.
talking about to you what you talking about. I'm talking about what he talking about.
He didn't understand
Tupac
LA gang
knew what
culture. He didn't understand
He's from
that.
a hood. He didn't understand that game part, but he's from a hood, and so he knew it was some ghetto shit.
How you gonna know he was in LA for a few months?
Reggie,
This ain't hard to figure out.
Reggie, you
He was
just-
around with some dudes
Ghetto.
that was showing him what it
Ghetto,
was.
man.
No,
And
ghetto ain't ghetto.
what
Yeah,
Tupac
it's
did, was somebody that was born and raised in the mob. If they was on, shoulda, woulda, did. But I guarantee you, if Pac had not been a new booty to the game, your homies probably would have seen Baby Lane. It would have been some dissing. And niggas would have been on some, all right. I don't believe the real authentic niggas would have got that active in that environment. Even if they seen each other, flicked each other off and dissed, it wouldn't have went that far. The fact that you had somebody that wasn't immediately from our culture involved, who wasn't no punk, who wasn't scared, and he wanted to show the niggas he was with that was the fact, that's why you had to go to such a high level, I think.
You're talking about what happened at the casino.
Yes.
Well,
lobby.
he's
Yes,
saying what Jay
yes,
said. Usually
yes.
is because he couldn't go back. Then a rapper did that too, and talking about Baby Lane.
But Tupac was such a real nigga that
Oh,
you
yeah.
know when
Yeah,
you
he's a
come
big
around a
rapper.
pack of wolves and you want to be accepted, some niggas just want to be accepted. When you a real nigga, you want to earn it. He wanted to earn it.
He has done it
he
in
didn't need to do
Baltimore.
that.
He didn't need to, but
have done it
he
in
didn't want it no other
Oakland.
way.
He has done it in Atlanta. He every time he reacted like that. That's how
Okay.
he reacted.
And my whole thing was, Orlando was a Compton cat. All the niggas from the mob, same place, Compton cat. The homies should have took care of that cat because Trayvon had that. Not saying, I'm just saying Tupac shouldn't have been in it. But he got in it because he felt a part of these dudes.
Right, exactly.
So he took the initiative. Like in every state you just said,
That he would have did.
nobody denied the fact that Tupac
He would've
went
did it
with
that
it.
way.
And Tupac take off on the motherfucker. Nobody denied that.
Yeah.
He did it in all these different places.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, now you got a different fucking element.
Right,
and some
a whole
different
nother
cats.
cause, yeah.
He took off on the cat
So
that
now
will.
we're saying niggas in Atlanta won't come back and retaliate? Is that what
No,
we're
I
saying
ain't
now?
said
That's
that.
not the
I ain't
point.
said that.
It's what you try to say. I only try to say because the homie was a Crip. He was dealing with some legendary energy, bro. Some shit that wasn't going, it was going to go that way regardless of who the other, look how the man died, bro.
He died. I think
Look how
dudes in Oakland would have retaliated like that. I really believe dudes in a lot of the 21 territories
But listen,
that are
you gotta
would have retaliated.
in all those
like that.
places, bro, you didn't have two sections who already had such tension building up. It was like the icing on the cake with him coming. Lakewood Mall, who is gonna cross paths that don't like each other there other than them two groups?
And how many times we had incidents at the Lakewood Mall
Thank you.
with all different type of crips.
Thank you.
Not just the South
So
Side.
guys, so cliques or whatever y'all want to call them out of state, they don't have issues at
We
malls?
ain't talking about out
I'm
of
just
state.
telling you that niggas have problems like that and they clash.
But Suge Knight ain't they big homie. You gotta think the time frame it was in, what Death Row meant to the world, what all that played a part in everything. That was the perfect storm,
No,
bro.
wait a minute.
It's not
Okay,
even really
let's just
Suge
say-
Knight.
yeah.
It's basically
But to Pac it
just the
was.
gang mentality. Let's go
Okay.
here. Just a gang mentality. You see Bloods, you see Crips. I'm finna play it out. What's happening, Blood? What's happening, cuz?
Right.
And we get in it. That's how it goes at the mall. Cerritos Mall, Hard Thumb, I don't care what mall you at. I don't care if
Compton
it's
swap
Venice
meet.
Beach or whatever.
I think we devalue
So here we got.
other gangs.
No, I'm just saying.
Or other cliques or whatever.
No, Atlanta, we just said last week, there's thug niggas in every motherfucking state, county, city.
And I think they click up like that too.
Okay, but I'm not saying that. If they clicked up like that, you got a fucking blood that just had a fight with a nigga at the Lakewood Mall.
Correct.
That nigga, you spotted him first.
Well,
so
then we should be mad at Trey, not Pop.
Ain't nobody see Reggie. You put words in nigga mouth. Who the fuck said they mad at Pop?
Huh?
Then I'm at to go Brown first again.
That's what everybody thinking.
No, I just straightened that out on your
I know
shirt.
that, but I'm
Pop,
trying to.
All right.
Reggie got a whole
I don't want
congregation
nobody
that's
to
going to
get
be
me
looking for him to
twisted
support.
About
Go ahead,
Pac.
There
What
you
I'm
go.
saying about Pac done handled his business on so many different occasions in different cities, states, or whatever. At the MGM, I say that situation was totally different because the man that had the incident is already a thug nigga. The guy he had the problem with is right there. So he should address that situation and the homies take that ass. This is some gang banging shit. This is what we own.
And now this is, and let me just.
That's all I'm saying. We own some gang banging shit.
Trayvon's position on that, James, is that he was coming back to his big homies, meaning Neckbone, Buntry, and Suge, to inform them.
If a 40-year-old nigga got to ask, can I fight that dude, then he don't need to be in the hood.
How old you say?
35.
He's 22 at the time. Trayvon was 21,
No,
22.
I'm talking about now.
Okay, well, we talking about this incident.
Okay, even at 22.
I'm just telling you his position, James.
Of what?
Reggie, I was
in the hotel? In the
You
casino?
was where? You done heard Trayvon say this position?
No. I'm
Trey
talking
done told
about,
me his
I'm in the
position.
hood. We ain't got no damn rules where
I'm just telling you
we,
what
we
he's
gotta
saying.
go to the. I
I'm
know
telling
what
you
you're telling me.
Okay.
But and I'm here to set that record straight.
I'm just telling you what he's saying.
And then okay,
I'm not
but
saying he right.
any man, okay, me and you hanging together.
Okay.
You done ran into a cat that you was when you was a police officer, and y'all had a fight. Now you see him, I see him. Should I take off on this motherfucker? You gonna take off on him, and then I'm coming after that
Well,
ass.
I may come to you and say, James, I'm about to go off on this nigga right now. You with me?
Well, that's what he should have said.
That's what he said. He said he was asking his big homies.
Who? Pop?
No.
Trey?
Trey said he was asking his big homies. Buntry, Neck, and Suge.
You know the cool thing about
what
it
he's
is,
saying.
I know Trayvon is with it. I was in the jailhouse with
Shout out my
Trayvon
nigga Trey, man.
and watched him fight, and he did his thing as a little homie. He did his thing. See, everybody they listen and then they try to take away from what you're saying. What I'm saying is, if you live in that gang banging life and a man jump you and you see that man again, there's no questions asked.
Period.
You jump in that ass. I'm finna go fight.
Period.
Now, the odds are even in your side because you got 14, 15 other cats right there. As soon as they see the squabble, it's on. It's on. And I'm only saying, Tupac should have grabbed that dude by his shirt.
Yes.
You know he's going to take off like that.
Okay, well, he didn't.
But
Even
regardless,
after the fact.
the spirit was wrong because, shout out to the homie, he went and participated. So he wasn't on the page of not knowing, because when you saw him, you should have been like, get Pop, get him, grab him, or go to
They
grab him.
grabbed him. As soon as he took off, and they grabbed him off him. They got him off of him,
So
and they
how-
took over it. They got Pac out. As soon as he ran up there, Pac got yanked out the way.
Suge had no business participating either.
Nope. Suge gets paid, but Suge.
That's
Suge,
what happened when you start
no,
gang banging
the
in
cold
your 30s.
And
thing.
he wasn't. If you want to know the real, he was breaking it up.
Oh, he just slipped. He just slipped. Yeah, he slipped.
Don't
Yo,
start
accidentally.
that shit. Now don't start that shit.
Okay.
The video showed him kicking the motherfucking
Feel me?
thing.
wasn't
Yeah,
kicking like Buntry.
Man,
Yeah, I ain't
Suge
know.
gonna do. No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Rest
he
in
wasn't
peace to
kicking
the
like
homie
that.
country,
Ain't
too.
you ain't got what's called,
Okay,
but
everybody done seen that video.
Suge was
1,000
doing.
times.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Just like Tupac, Suge was doing his mob motherfucking thing too.
Yup, keep it real.
Tell me he ain't. Tell me he wasn't.
He said,
Suge done grab niggas by their throat. Suge
Oh,
done fired
yeah,
on
yeah,
niggas.
but we talking about
Suge
that
done helped
incident.
pack niggas down. I'm talking about period.
okay,
All of
now
it.
you're going period. We were talking about that incident.
No, I think
Immediately.
Reggie has a point.
Immediately,
Maybe Suge
What,
CeeLo.
tell
one
me the
kick
point.
just so that
Please.
people can say he was a part of it,
No, he was-
but not wanting to be a part of it.
No.
He snuck one in.
He snuck one
Yeah,
in.
snuck one in.
It's hard not to do. When
Yeah.
you amongst your
Yeah, he
own,
snuck one
and
in.
it's hard
But
not
he
to do,
was smart
bro.
enough not to be going wilding out like the rest of them were.
But didn't he get violated for that?
Yeah.
One move? I
And
remember
the
that.
judge said took him 13 times on the bench
watch
before
it.
to determine that he made a kick. That's how sneaky that kick was.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to rehash,
Yeah.
you know, Tupac
Yeah, I ain't getting
I
emotions
What I'm
all
saying-
fucked
The only
up.
thing that gets me there to say that Cause I understand what you're saying. If Pac was, if it would have been like a conversation, I'm about to go over there and get that motherfucker. I'm about to go get him, and then yeah, Pac, go get him or something like that. Then I agree with you.
Well, see,
Pac just took off.
Trey made it sound
don't
like
have me ask this question.
Trey made
Reggie.
it sound like this to me. He said
said
they
go
when
ahead?
they was
No,
mobbing.
Let's fight it. Let's fight it.
This the way Trey explained to me. He say throughout the time that the beef had been brewing, the nigga Pac had got used to hearing Orlando name. And then when they was in that lobby, somebody said, "There we go, right there," and Pac just
Took off.
But when he said
That's
there you
all
go
I've
right
been
there,
saying.
when he said there we go right there, it's 100 people right there.
yeah, it wasn't
You
no-
never seen this,
He just signed his death certificate right at that moment.
but you never seen his face.
That's deep. When you can look back from that point and then start, that's
Because
deep.
Somebody should have known Baby Lane's resume and said, "This is not the place to do it." And then you're driving around, hanging out the car moments after, like everything is hunky dory.
We don't see no evidence of them hanging out the car. That's just,
Well, that's what the witnesses that were on that street.
What, the entourage?
Yeah.
no, he wasn't hanging out.
No.
Because the pit, that's what Keith said.
And the
But
girl said the same thing.
They just said he hollered and called them.
But the girls that pulled up on the side said the exact same
They
thing.
just said that they were hollering Pac, or the girls was hollering.
They said Pac was hanging out the car.
No, they didn't. They didn't say that. That's
Okay.
PPD that always said.
No, there were 3 girls in that car. 2 of them did an interview about 2
They
years
didn't say he
ago.
was hanging out. He just said he invited them to club, told them to follow them to the club.
But you know how easy it is for that small detail to be hanging out a little bit, talk to him out the window.
Come on,
just that
follow
word.
up,
Yeah,
follow
that's a
up.
simple.
He was doing enough to be noticed by other people driving around.
Hey, well,
It's
I
Tupac.
told y'all to question the cat gangster because he said he couldn't shoot from the driver's side. What gangster can't? So, I mean, you got 4 cats in the car and 3 of them said, I don't want the gun. So Orlando was the only rider in that motherfucker. Keefy D got the pistol right here. All he got to do is tell the driver, bend down. You go over his shoulder and pop. Talking about I would have done it if I was on that
That's
side.
not what he said. That's not what he said.
Oh, man.
I never listened to what he said. I'm gonna have to listen to
He said
it
if-
just to be up on it.
At the place, at the 7-Eleven or whatever, he gave the gun to his nephew, to Orlando. He said they were on that side, so he was trying to pass the gun to Big Dre. He wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take the gun from Dre. So Orlando reached across him and fired the shots. Is what he
Keefy
said.
D said if he was on my side, I'd have shot
If
him.
he was on his side.
That's what I just said.
He
You
would.
say he didn't say that.
No, you said you got to question this gangster because he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't have the opportunity.
Okay,
It
well,
wasn't
man, we done
pursuing.
talked about this discussion
Yeah,
many
this-
times, and I mean,
And I'm not trying to take up for him. I'm just,
No, I ain't saying that. I'm just
I
saying.
just know it's people out there to be fact checking, and
I'm just saying
Every time
there's
you
parallels.
have- every
There's
time we
parallels for
have-
all these rappers
Yeah.
that want to involve themselves in street shit and end up something happening. You know, Pac should have stuck to rap, just like Tekashi should have just stuck to the music, stuck to the rap, stayed away from the 9 Trey stuff. But of course, he wanted to get himself involved, just like a whole bunch of other rappers do.
You can't replace the Tupac.
Nah, you can't. He was a treasure back then.
You can't replace him.
He was a one of a kind back then,
My mama.
and he should have been nowhere around that stuff.
Well, he gonna be around it because Tupac fit in
I want to make people
with them.
bitches and shit.
Hmm.
In the
Why you
car
gotta-
and stuff.
why you gotta
You
call
talking
him?
about he shouldn't be nowhere around it? What you mean
I
he shouldn't be
mean,
nowhere around
nobody
what?
Well,
got to be a
basically
bitch
around
because of
what?
that.
No, listen.
I said the same thing about Nip. Nip should have been standing out, hanging out on Slauson and
And his
Crenshaw.
shop, he
Can
feels
I-
Posted up.
comfortable
For
there.
one, he wasn't
wait a minute.
hanging. He
Wait a
wasn't
minute.
posted.
Yeah.
He was coming to his
That's
place
just-
of business. I believe.
On that day.
Yeah, on that day.
But
But
he have hung out and went and
in the
kicked it and
past.
chilled. Yeah, but
I don't know if he hung up
it
since
could
he's
have
been a
it
business
could have been
owner.
any day. It
Hanging
could have been-
didn't cause his detriment.
No, it didn't.
It was involving
listen,
himself verbally in
but-
politics.
Yeah.
He
Let
could have
me-
been right there all day and not engage in that conversation and never
But if he
met
wasn't
that
there, he
demise.
wouldn't have had that conversation.
That's not
What
true
do you want-
necessarily.
what do you want?
You don't never
Beverly
telling
Hills
people you have gangbangers worldwide. How do you can just guarantee he won't encounter that cat elsewhere and have that same
Exactly.
conversation?
But the choices we make, I mean, just
There
like
you go.
Suge had options to like stay away. And don't nobody know where he ate because he had multiple spots.
he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Wait a
yeah,
minute, Reggie,
spots,
let me
multiple
finish.
spots.
Yeah, multiple spots. So if Suge wanted to interact, he could have had motherfuckers meet him here, meet him there, like he normally do. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to come to the hood. You don't have to put yourself in a situation, especially when you live in a different way. Everybody in the hood is trying to find a way out that motherfucker. Out that motherfucker. But when you find your way out the motherfucker, you find your way back in it. And then we have situations, am I right?
You're right.
And then that's what take us down.
Yeah.
You don't have to come back to the hood to feed the motherfucker. You don't have to.
That's
I
deep.
made it out. I made it out this
Why do you
motherfucker.
think that our music is the only seemingly black successful group of people who had that burden? Like they can't shake the hood. Basketball, football, everybody get gone. I'm gone. Why is it about this rap?
Well, some rappers do. I think Snoop.
No, I know some,
Snoop
but
disconnected himself from Long Beach.
no.
for a while.
The minute Long Beach nigga just made that nigga Snoop check in a couple years ago and do
Yeah.
a whole. Yeah, so we don't want to use a bad example for an example. I'm just curious as to why is it so prevalent in the hip hop community, period. Even though all don't participate, why do we see so many examples? Mossberg died being not separated from his success.
But that's truly living that life. You know what I'm saying? But and that goes back to the choices that we make when we get up out of here. Go ahead, Reg. I mean,
No, I was just going to respond to not what you
Go
said.
Yeah, I just wonder if anybody had any
But
input as to why they think it's
because
like
the
that.
things that, like, I seen you on IG one time do. When niggas check your G card, what did you go do? You went to
Oh yeah.
high schools. You went walking around. You went showing everybody, nigga, what
I'm
you mean?
here.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be there.
What you mean?
And for me personally, I can speak for myself and explain my motivation. I don't know nothing but those environments. So
And
when
that's
it's
why that's what their defense was.
some people, like we spoke of earlier, and I know these are like extreme cases, the Chris Brown and Soulja Boys, they don't know those areas.
Yeah.
They're breaking their neck to get there and familiarize themselves with an affiliate. Like when you say, you ain't supposed to, I don't know nothing else. And it might come across like a nigga trying to do some extra stuff, but when I went to the high school, guess what? I was going to my son's football game. Just happened to be in the area that this dude was speaking on, and I went there, but I was going to be there regardless of my interaction with that dude. So it's just, I don't,
Yeah, but you made us know. Nigga,
Okay.
I can go anywhere.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nigga,
Thank
don't tell
you.
me where I can't go.
Thank you.
I just choose not to.
Thank you.
Understandable.
Thank you.
But yeah, man, it's just the choices that we make. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't made it out the hood. But if I make it out of here, I know how to get back without being there.
Thank
I
you.
know how to give back without, and that's our problem because we think it's all glamour and all this and we like that exposure and to feel a certain kind of way when the homies come to you and want to embrace and lock. You don't need that. You can do all that and give back without being in the hood and putting yourself there, without even having the police think about how you getting down. Take a couple of the homies out the hood and show them this and show them that. That's giving back. Now them two homies come back to the hood and swoop up
Right.
some more. And we out of it. But to come back is to rub shit in people's faces pretty much. And then now we get caught up in the same motherfucking ditch that was done for other people.
And somebody out that pack gonna want more of what you got than what you trying to share.
And then when
Yeah.
you quit giving it to them,
It's a problem.
now it's time to
Yes.
fuck this nigga.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. Man, it's an old saying, man. I climb up that ladder and you got a motherfucker down at the bottom of the ladder grabbing you by your ankles, pulling you down, pulling
Yep.
you down. So we just got to think better than what we doing when we get this money. We look like fucking idiots rich because the white boys ain't accepting you anyway, whether you got the money or not. You know what I'm saying? So we take our money and we fuck it off foolishly. Females and you want to go buy a $500,000 car, you can do something else. Go somewhere and relax. But one thing I learned dealing with Suge, rich people are very unhappy. They don't have too many friends. So they find something to do. Either they go chasing drugs or they go chasing and find somebody and they don't mind that person getting them. Rich people they all fucked up.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Money don't bring happiness to
No, it
your
don't.
life at all.
Exactly.
That's deep.
Exactly.
Even though most people believe that.
But we gotta get better with ourselves, though,
One
man.
of my youngest, most he come from royalty damn near. He's half white, half Japanese. Never wanted for nothing. Grew up in a pool house. Just committed suicide. He was a transplant in America from Arizona. Been living out here like 10 years. In these Hollywood laws, paying high rent, modeling, doing everything you can want to do, and he just domed himself.
He's black?
White mixed with Japanese.
Okay.
So
Just
just
a
to go to your
private
point, that having everything we think we want don't necessarily solve that problem.
How many homies you had in the hood that mom and daddy was rich, but they still wanted to be from the hood and gangbang and wind up in the penitentiary? How many cats you arrested like that? You don't
my
have to
hood
do
got
it,
a
but
whole
you just
section.
fucking.
My hood got a
you know
whole
what I'm
city
saying?
worth of that.
But
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to live like that. Why do you put yourself in that situation? Just like rich kids. Ain't nothing happening in Beverly Hills. All the excitement is at Fremont. I want to go up there
Right.
and
Y'all
hang
hip
out.
to that white boy that was claiming 9-0 from Palos Verdes? Y'all ever talked about him?
Terrell.
I ain't hip to his name, but
yeah, his name was
he
Terrell.
really got put
Yeah, I
on
just
and all
seen him
that.
with the
He
long
beat-
hair. Yeah.
I actually got a chance to meet him and
For
chop
real?
it up with him.
Wow.
He actually got put. He actually wasn't even living in Palos Verdes. He left his family's house because of the same thing we're talking about. His mom and his father were the most depressing married couple, and he had to deal with that. So at the age of 15, he met this black kid, and he moved in with this black kid, and he called that kid's mom his new mom.
Yeah.
And then one day that kid says, "Hey, let's go up to Sportsman Park. I'm about to get put on. You should get put on with me."
Wow.
So he gets put on. He's been living in South LA for like 2 years now, but he's still going to school in Palos Verdes. So he actually got put on. Was doing everything.
But the parents got money.
Yeah.
parents got money.
Oh, he came out squeaky
The
clean in
parents
court
own
too.
a beautiful house
Yeah.
in Palos Verdes.
He took some niggas around the corner. They jumped out, did they stiff, jumped back in his car, and just like a million other niggas, he didn't get washed like every other driver we heard about all our life.
Yeah, but I gotta add this though.
Then he put up his daddy ended up putting up the bill to get him
Yeah,
out.
he
didn't
ended up
Yep.
bailing out.
Yeah,
Yep.
Daddy put
But
up the bill,
the
he
laws
ended up-
have recently changed on the culpability of drivers. I worked on 2 cases in 2018 where similar to Terrell's case, and then we were found not guilty on both of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
really?
dude from Five Deuce Hoover, Samaj Welsh from Five Deuce Hoover was a driver, and the jury found him not guilty. And then Terrell gets found not guilty right after. I expected a not guilty. Because you could argue as a driver, I did not know they were going to do that.
That is so brand new.
And it is.
No, it's
extremely
a lot of guys.
random.
It's called Rule 19 or something like that. A lot of cases getting overturned now for that. When people,
Okay.
the felony murder rule is pretty much getting kicked out. That's why I always wondered about Michael DeRoe case.
Free Mike DeRoe. Big and little.
How he might get out on that
Yeah.
because of it.
Oh, just because I'm your crime, you don't, and you get killed, they
Right.
can't get that to me.
Exactly.
Shout out
That's
Lil
cool.
Wild,
You
man.
got a lot of cats.
So I want
Right.
everyone to know I wasn't
Felony murder
surprised
rule, they
that
call it.
Terrell was found not guilty. I was expecting him to be found not guilty, as I expect every driver who claims I did not know what these dudes were gonna do. They have to prove that you as a driver
Right.
was part of the homicide, and if they can't, you walk it. So that's
There
the
should be a
law.
lot of retro releases.
There should be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people got convicted.
Indeed.
There was people sleeping in the back seat, not knowing what's going on,
Right.
getting convicted.
Right. That
You
nigga
know?
Mozzie got one of my favorite lines recently. Say, the driver like, how I get all this time? You had to act the role in the commitment of a crime. Like,
Well, I
that's
remember
just,
back in the days, the passenger in the back seat, they let them go all the time.
wow.
G-Rise.
With G-Rides, and if I had a pistol and
Yeah.
the driver and the passenger of the front seat went, the backseat passenger, they let them go home.
Yeah, but ever since the gang enhancement 186.22, which started getting prosecuted in the 2000s, everybody's getting charged in the car.
I heard that was they got some new laws that's taking that gang enhancement shit away too. Is that true?
No, the gang
Oh, okay.
enhancement is still in effect. You know, I just got a case today.
Well, every
Gang
law we
enhancement.
find ourselves
Well,
trying to
actually,
get
that's
around,
terrorist.
They
they
got a
find a way
loophole. Yeah.
to lock
Yes.
it down again.
Yes, they
Another
do.
way to
Yes,
lock
they
it
do.
up.
No, 186.22 is the gang enhancement.
I thought
It means
the terrorist threats.
The gang enhancement, it is if you do a crime for the benefit,
I'm gonna get up out of
the
here.
direction, or an
Tap into the
association
Gangster
of a street
Chronicles
gang.
episode.
That's the
The next one.
the
Podcast. Get
allegation,
the whole thing.
186.22.
Be about
All right, but
somebody y'all calls.